BMAX Audio Adventure. This is the next episode of BJJ365, and this is a conversation that I had on Instagram Live with an incredible black belt named Dan Martinez. And Dan doesn't do a lot of social media, but if you're paying attention to the jiu-jitsu scene, he's one of the most incredible up-and-coming black belts out there. And I think we're going to be seeing him on a lot of great shows in the future, like EBI, maybe even some of the ADCC style shows. Pay attention to what he has to say about some of his, he gives a great detail on a rear naked choke. He talks about the mindset of a competitor. The audio quality changes, but it's not really that big of a deterioration. So you're going to be able to hear it just fine. There's a little bit longer. It's going to be about a 20-minute total podcast. Not that long still. So enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, please share it and make sure you follow Dan on his Instagram, all that good stuff. Again, thanks you guys. I appreciate you and enjoy this conversation I have with Dan Martinez.
Cool, man. Obviously, Dan Martinez. I've been training 9 years now over with Rob Kahn, Matt Arroyo, and Robbie D'Onofrio and all those guys at Gracie Tampa. So, it's been quite a long time for training. Been competing pretty much since the beginning. I think I'll be doubling up on that here pretty soon. A whole another 9 more, man.
Oh, man. I love it. You got a lot of competitions coming up. I know you've been killing it for the last year and a half at least. Like you've been really crushing it at the top.
Yeah. So it's been about close to 2 years since I've actually hadn't won, which has been good. You know, I've got on the finishers, on the grappling pro. I got on the 32 man with Brian Brown down in Jacksonville, which was an awesome tournament. So it's actually been pretty uneventful in the last 2 months, man. I've been having a tough time landing a match here in Florida. You know, we've kind of competed against everybody here, so I have a super fight coming up next month with a pretty solid guy, and after that, nothing in the works as of yet, unfortunately.
What weight class are you competing at mostly?
Middleweight, 185.
Man, you're a big son. You cutting any weight to get down to there?
About 5 pounds. I walk around about 90, 92, and I'm always down to move up. You know, 185 is like a pretty universal weight. Like there's a lot of tournaments at that specific weight, but I refuse to go lower, man. I don't believe in weight cutting at all. I don't like to do it. I like to eat a lot.
Dude, I got PTSD from weight cutting. I don't want nothing to do with it ever again.
Yeah, exactly, man. I don't think it's that much of an advantage. You know, it's an advantage in size, a disadvantage up here. You know, so yeah, I'm not a big fan of it.
I guess everybody's different though, because I know some people they feel a real strong mental advantage from the weight cut because they feel bigger than the rest of the dudes coming in. But when everybody's doing it, you know,
exactly. You know, and like I tell, a lot of my teammates cut like 10, 15 pounds, and I'm like, you know, you can curl 10 or 15 pounds. You know, I'd rather stay mentally strong doing whatever I was going to do day in and day out. You know, I don't like to change too many things like I do throughout the week of training, like for a competition, you know?
Yeah. And do you feel like that's is that something that you picked up on early as a competitor or somebody pointed you to that? Or is that just something that over time you learned, look, I don't change my routine?
Exactly. Yeah. Over time, you know, I realized that like I would always be training awesome in preparation for a fight because I had plenty of MMA fights as well, and I fought at 170 when I did, and it was a miserable weight cut, you know. So like the week before the competition or the fight, I felt so much worse than I did in preparation for it that I was like, I don't like that disbalance, you know. And then when I started competing more and more in jiu-jitsu, it was like I'm just not going to cut the weight, and I just felt great going in, especially when you go out of town. You know, you're not worried about your weight. I'm just eating as much as I want, staying relaxed. It's not stressing me out or anything. I feel like it definitely helps my performance a lot more.
Man, one of the most miserable experiences in jiu-jitsu that I can ever remember. Do you know my friend Sean Applegate? He's one of my black belts.
Yeah. Him and Chase Hammer. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you competed against Chase a couple of times, right?
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Yeah, incredible leg lockers too. But when I was a purple belt and Sean was a blue belt, we were going out to Los Angeles, and we were training with Eddie, and we went out there to compete at the Gracie Worlds, which, you know, it's not even a big tournament, but it was a big deal to us because at that time it was pretty much like the only sub-only tournament that we could get our hands on, you know. We were going out there and competing in this thing, and I was cutting to 155. And Sean was cutting to 135.
Yeah.
And, you know, Sean and I are like really close friends. And we were staying in that hotel, and I've never wanted to kill another human so bad in all my life. And I was just cranky, and then he was
exactly
to murder me, and like we were training all week.
Mentality. Exactly. It's not a good mentality. Then you're already emotionally drained when the match starts, you know, and then you wake up and you're like, oh shit, today's the competition. Like, yeah.
I cut 17 pounds of water to hit 155.
Oh, and, same day.
Yeah. No.
Wow.
This was day before. Okay. But I cut 17, so I stepped on the scale 155.0 like a profesh.
Yeah.
And then I walked on the mat at 176.1 the next day.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
It was stupid.
And that was another thing. My whole life, I've always been a pretty like naturally thin person, so I would lose a lot of weight, and I would only put maybe 8 pounds on. So it's like it was never like the best trade. You know, I'd kill myself to make the weight, and then if I made 170, I'd be 178 the day of the tournament. I was like, all right, I'm done doing that.
Yeah, all done. So here's what I would like to do then, and we'll make it pretty quick. And if you guys that are joining us have any questions, just post them there, and we'll get to them at the end. But we're going to try to like push through and not get distracted by the questions too much for right now. So talk to us about the mindset of competition. Like, what is it? What are some tips, I guess, maybe is the best way to say it. What are some things that you do or that you recommend to your students and your training partners, people that you come across, that really help to keep your mind sharp? Because what I have found over the years for myself is that really the mind is the hardest part of competing, especially. But even like for the average person, you know, who's just trying to get past that white belt or trying to get past the blue belt, it's almost never a physical limitation. Sometimes it is, but it's usually something that's happened in their mind. So kind of talk to the people. Tell them, what does a guy who's at the upper echelons of the sport, what do you do to keep your mind sharp and to keep your mind healthy and moving forward?
Yeah, man, honestly, as far as the mentality goes, I always tell my students and all my training partners, you know, the training is physical and the competition is mental. You know, everybody hears about like gym fighters or gym competitors. They're awesome in the gym, and then they kind of break down when the competition comes, you know. So without a doubt, competing early on, you know, white, blue belt, purple belt, you know, the local tournaments and all of that. But I feel like most people create this giant monster in their opponent, you know. Like the first thing I never do is I don't research my opponent at all. I don't watch their videos. I mean, I hear about them, but I don't really watch too much of their footage, because you kind of get caught up in what they're doing and what they do and what they do. And then when you start training for it, you're kind of just waiting for that, you know. For example, I'm going to compete against Brandon, and Brandon's got sick entries to Ashi and everything, and then I'm just worried. I'm just waiting for my training partners to go for that attack, and then I'm not really playing my own game, you know. So I think it's just I treat every match the same. Like, you are a black belt, defending 27-time world champion, 100 strike.
Not the Laranja.
And no matter what, you are the best grappler I've ever faced, and it doesn't matter what you're. I'm expecting you to go for leg locks and be a guard passer and everything. So really, just being open to everything. You know, I kind of view every opponent as that is going to be the toughest match I have, and I'm not unbeatable. You know, like a lot of people, you see guys. How many times have you been to like a tournament and you see this guy with like big Beats headphones warming up, doing penetration steps on the concrete, just smacking himself? It's like, you know, I never get caught up in that. I think everybody can beat me. Everybody in the world can submit me, but I feel like I can beat everybody else too. So it's kind of just who can make it in those 6 or 8 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. So is like, how big of a deal to you is that warm up? Like, what do you like to do for your warm up before the match? Because you're talking about like some dudes, they come out and they pop, 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 and they're driving those hard penetrations over on the side. They basically do like 2 matches before they even get out on the mat. That's never been my way. I don't, you know, of course I'm not a Dan Martinez either. So I guess people are more interested in hearing the way you do it than the way I do it.
Yeah, man, honestly, I feel like if you're going to do jiu-jitsu, you got to warm up with jiu-jitsu, you know? I see guys doing push-ups and squats or burpees or running around the building, and I never did any of that in my jiu-jitsu class, you know, before, you know, in training for the competition. So just I like to warm up with just whatever I feel like I'm going to do in the coming match or tournament, you know? Like, I love my knee cut pass. I love my triangle choke, so I'll just prep stuff that I feel like I'm going to go for, maybe that I feel like my opponent may go for, but you know how it is. There's a lot, guard pass to the mount, Americana, you roll over, take the back, gift wrap on the side. I always set a timer, about 3-4 minutes, pick one technique or a sequence, about 3 moves that go together, and just go through that until I am dripping in sweat. So I try to have my first match before, but maybe not with the intensity and aggressiveness of other people.
Yeah. So you're just trying to get that first cardio dump out of the way, because everybody gets that cardio dump. If you don't compete a lot, you don't really realize that's coming. Like whether you're prepared or not, that's coming.
Well, a lot of times your first match is your warm up, and that's the worst because then you're huffing and puffing, out of breath. You might have pulled something in your back. You weren't more. You stretched out for it.
Yeah. So when you're jumping out there, are you going out with a specific game plan in mind for yourself? Like, are you the kind of dude who talks or who has an exact thing that you want to do going in? Or are you like, I want to feel my opponent and then take advantage of the openings kind of thing? Because, there's different like ways of seeing that game. Like a Marcelo, for instance, Marcelo Garcia, he's going to do what he does. Eddie Bravo, my coach, he's going to do what he does. You're going to get in quarter guard. You're going to end up in the lockdown. You're going to get an electric chair sweep, and he's going for the twister, right? Whereas, like my way has always been more yielding, I would say. So I'm really interested to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I really, even for super fights, you get an opponent and you kind of have an idea of what somebody may or may not do. For example, one of my first super fights was with Oliver Tasa. It's no secret what those guys are going to do. They're gonna sit the guard and have aggressive single leg entries and over and over and over. Play a butterfly half guard style game. So I kind of keep that in mind. And generally, with a match like that, I'm expecting that they're probably going to sit first. But I get into every match and stay obviously on my feet, and I just pretty much go with wherever the match goes. I think that's one of the things that separates me from other competitors is that I can kind of, if you've watched any of my matches or maybe multiple matches in one tournament, sometimes I pull guard, sometimes I don't. I'll pass the guard, I'll end up on the back, I'll hit an arm bar, maybe 2 leg locks, where I think some other competitors are just known for maybe awesome guard and great leg locks, and it's just those attacks over and over and over and over. So it becomes predictable for somebody competing against them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, when I watch your matches, which I've watched a lot, so I got 2 black belts. I got Sean Applegate and I got Matt Scaff. Yeah. And Matt he's here with me every day as a training partner. And I'm terrible, dude. I'm bad about keeping up with the competition scene. I watch old matches. Like I watch the old people roll. Yeah. but Scaff, he is super into keeping up with exactly who's on top of things and how they're doing it and what they're doing. Like he's a student of competition. And he's the one that actually turned me on to your game. He was like, dude, you got to see Dan Martinez. He's my favorite to watch right now. And we've been studying your back game specifically, like what you like to do on the back. So here's the way I want to end it. Give us one tip that can translate via Instagram Live, but one tip that you think is huge that people are missing about the back.
Man, great question. Attack the chin for sure. Attack the chin. I am big on the crossface, and not just the crossface that comes across, but pushing the chin inward. You get pressure. Everybody gets caught up in fighting the hands and attacking the neck, and the neck's never going to be there. What's the first thing Dan is going to do if I take your back in? Tuck your chin, grab the choking arm. So I think the reason I have a lot of success with the choke is because I'm always attacking the tip of the chin and I'm pushing it inward. And what happens when your chin gets pushed in, your reaction is to defend by pushing out and then comes across. And a lot of times I will attack the chin, which gets you to turn in one way, and I just go in that direction. I call it myself and my training partners call it Dan's crossface gator rule, because I'll come across your chin in one direction and we'll just roll until your chin pops up. And it will. Everybody's will eventually, if done correctly. So I think a lot of times people get caught up in attacking the neck, and in my mind it's, you got to be rude, you got to pull that Wagner Rocha jiu-jitsu, and you got to attack that chin.
Dude, listen, man. Wagner Rocha, think what you want to about him. That dude can go.
Oh, yeah. We've trained together many, many, many times, and it's funny, he will take your back and apologize ahead of time.
Awesome.
definitely where I got some of my cross facing from because we train a lot down here in Florida together, and definitely we're both big. You gotta attack the chin, make you uncomfortable. The rest pops up.
Yeah, dude. What do we got to do to get you on EBI?
Man, bro, I would love to. I see Eddie posting about the September 15th middleweights. You know, I can't say combat jiu-jitsu is my favorite, but I've also had 13 fights, and I've been kicked, kneed, elbowed. So, man, all this does is save some time. So I would love to get on that one for sure.
Well, I'm not the guy who can make it happen, but I am close to Eddie, and I definitely can drop your name in there and see what we can do, man.
That would be awesome, man. I definitely, obviously everybody's confident in their own abilities, but I'm very, very, very confident in my 185 EBI abilities for sure, man. Combat or non-combat, definitely.
Awesome, man. Dude, thank you so much. This has been a real pleasure for me, man.
Dude, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having me, definitely.
Yeah, hopefully this will come across well on the podcast. I don't know if the audio is going to turn out, but I'll figure it out.
Again, my man.
But if it doesn't, then we'll have you on again for sure, man.
Yeah, at any time, brother, for sure. Any time. We can do the same subject again. Maybe the petition for the EBI. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, that'll be a good one to get on. Dude, thank you so much. Oh, we did have one question that I wanted to get back around to. This is from his _ who is TJ _. Yeah. And he says, who is your toughest and or your favorite opponent that you've ever competed against?
Man, yeah, one of my toughest opponents, Leon Jackson, man, from New Jersey. And it sticks out of my mind because that was one of my last matches at the 32-man bracket. And I've had this asked before, man. I mean, that was one of the toughest matches I've had. A lot bigger and stronger than myself, you know, but man, I haven't had my guard passed in years, and he passed and mounted me, even though I was able to escape. You know, I had a couple fully locked rear naked chokes, and again, you know, you guys just it kind of goes back to what you guys said. You guys study my back attacks, and man, I did the chin attack. I got underneath, I squeezed till my bicep felt like it was gonna come off, and I did not get the finish on him. So that's definitely, man, Leon, if you're watching, bro, you were a beast. Definitely one of my favorite matches for sure.
Well, hopefully somebody will pass this on to him. He'll have a good feeling about himself. Hey, Dan, thanks for everything, man. How can we, what do we need to do to follow you and stay, more in touch with your career as we continue to, you're dominating, honestly. So how do we watch you move up the ranks like that? Where do we follow you?
As far as, you mean social media wise, or?
Yeah, Instagram, or do you have a website, or,
no, man. Everybody gets on me. I don't have an athlete page. I don't have a website. I don't really post too much. And everybody's like, bro, all you post is your fucking chameleon and a couple other things. But hey, but definitely on social media, my Facebook page or my Instagram page that you guys are watching now, Dan Martinez Jitsu. That's probably what I use the most for sure.
Nice. Man, we should work it out to where I get some material from you from my website then, if you don't want to do it on your own.
Man, anytime. So eventually at some point, obviously everybody's goal is to put out a couple videos, instructionals or anything like that. So I definitely see that in my future, but if anybody's interested, I would love to put out some videos. I absolutely love teaching and talking jiu-jitsu for as long as you guys would want me to.
Well, I'm definitely interested, and we'll talk when this is over, and we'll make that happen 100%.
Definitely.
Right on, man. Well, for those of you that are watching, thank you very much. Make sure you go by my website. It's www.brandonmc.ninja. $5 a month, all my classes, seminars, stuff like that, and hopefully soon some Dan Martinez back instructional.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, guys. We really appreciate y'all joining us.
Thank you, guys.